Hey guys, so I am going to show you a little trick that I use to get the detail on some of the costumes that I like because it's a pain in the butt and I like to share my secrets. So before we even start though, I'm going to tell you the tools that you need. Now you may not have all these, this is just a method that I use. I use an orange cat, first of all. Grab your orange cat and put it up against the wall. I'm just kidding. Hi, Rascal. Hi, Kitty. She hates me so much. But, alright, so you're going to need a projector. You can get these at Best Buy for, like, let's say a cheap one is going to run you a couple $100. Now, I know that sounds like a lot of money, but I know some of you guys spend a couple $100 on just one costume. One projector for a couple $100 is going to get you what you need to do lots of cool, fun stuff. You are also going to need your laptop. Yay, your laptop. And then the necessary cords to hook it up. This projector in particular is an HD projector, so my picture is going to be slightly more crisp. You need a white wall, any white wall. I know it's dark in here. I'm literally using the white wall that's under like paint in my apartment. So any white wall, there is only a tiny bit of distance between me and the two walls. You don't need a lot of space. There's only a couple feet between the projector and the wall. You need whatever you're trying to work with. So whatever material that you have that you're trying to trace onto. So I actually am using interfacing because I'm going to be putting it flat on something and then ironing. So interfacing works just fine. I chose a featherweight or lightweight? I think a featherweight. And it doesn't have as much, like you can't really see through it too well, just a tiny bit. And it's not covered in holes. It's got an almost soft paper feel to it. So interfacing, it's like $1.70, $2 a yard. Always get your coupons. All right, so the idea is I am doing Lulu from Final Fantasy X. And any of you that know her know that she's got cool little lace designs all over her dress and on the ends and the sleeves and everywhere. But so I am not that good freehand drawing. I'm actually pretty terrible. So I wanted to get it as close to the actual thing without going online and buying something someone else made. I want to stretch what I can do. So what you want to do is on your laptop, pull up your reference picture. All right, so this is my reference picture right here. I have I wouldn't say luxury of a very bad computer, but it has a touch screen so I can zoom as I like. So that's the cool part. So what I want to do is zoom in on the area that I'm interested in. So particularly right now I'm interested in her sleeve. I don't know if you could see me pinch zooming over here while that changes. So you know, any part I want to focus on, like for her jewelry, boobies. For her jewelry, you know, being able to zoom in really helped too. So if you have a projector, you can get look how big her head is versus on a computer screen like this tiny. This gives me all the details I really need to see. It may not be perfectly clear, but it gives me a hell of a lot better idea, plus her makeup, things like that. Little things that go a long way. But we are going to focus on this sleeve. So this sleeve, what you're gonna wanna do is on your actual sleeve that you're making, you're going to want to measure how far around you need to make this interfacing. So let's say my sleeves are going to be this baggy, which they're totally not, but they might actually be. I'm really far behind. Let's say my sleeves are going to be this baggy. So, all right, I'm going to cut it in half. So if from here to here is going to be 6 inches, I'm going to do about 13 inches of tracing. So what you're going to want to do is get just a regular ruler or whatever and measure out 6 inches from the middle. So this is her middle right here. I need 6 inches this way because then I can just duplicate, which I'll show you guys later. So, all right, let's say this is 6 inches because I'm not going to measure it because I've already done this and it's moderately tedious. So we are going to make something like this look something like this right here. And it's pretty wicked cool. It's pretty right on target. This is actually her. What am I focusing on? Her crotch. I focused on her crotch, actually, is what I did. Yeah, so see how it's super huge? I made a mistake. I didn't count for that sizing by inches, and I was like, well, that looks about the size of my hand. Let me just trace it. That was really dumb. Though it was easier to trace when I held it up to me. If my thighs ended here, it went out to here, and there was nowhere for me to cut and get, because I would be losing pieces of the pattern. So make sure you measure. That's much closer to the actual size. So what you're going to want to do is take some tape, and you are going to want to tape onto your wall. So I use painter's tape just because I know it's not going to damage my wall, my already damaged paint job, but let's just pretend that my paint job isn't already damaged. The part of the interfacing that is getting actually ironed on, it's got the glue, that is the part you put up against the wall. So I'm going to go, you can see I've actually already messed up on this before, you'll see some tracing lines, but what you're going to want to do, flip it around. Alright, so get it where you can trace it comfortably, and tape a few little bits up here. But you're going to want to smooth it out with your hands, because the last thing you want is this, your pattern, your tracing moving on you, because that really sucks. So, or usually you can cut it, like I would cut it if I didn't need a piece this big for something else later. Pin the bottom down, you know, a strong breeze, a 44-pound bulldog coming in here will tear this right off the wall. And then you have the fun part of trying to reposition. So, and then get a pen, and then literally it's just like in kindergarten, like learning to trace. I'm left-handed, so I get the fun part of blocking half the crap that I'm tracing. So as left-handed, we usually tip our hands over, so ignore that. But you're literally just going to trace right onto the working pen, right onto your interfacing. And may I suggest tracing hard? Because if you trace too soft, it's not gonna be transferable later, like the way you want it to be. So, alright. And then you get you get the idea, right? So I just need you guys to trace your little heart out. Listen to some good music, maybe some good anime. I've been watching like My Bride or My Wife is a Mermaid, I forget. It's on Netflix. It's really freaking cute and campy and adorable, and I love it. But yeah, just literally do this for everything. So where's the halfway I'm gonna doodle on this, even though I know I shouldn't, but the halfway point of her pattern is literally cutting this in half. So we are only going to trace half of her pattern. What's nice about this screenshot is it already has it's not a screenshot, it's artwork. It has a downward slope already, meaning it's not just flat across, so we don't have to cut it into pieces and edit it lower so that it accentuates the upper thigh. It's already curved for you, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we're just gonna trace half, right? So tediousness, trace all of the thick lines, So for whatever pattern you're using, go around that negative white space, get all the details you possibly can. Like I said, really accentuate your lines. What I'm going to do when this is done is I'm actually going to go over it with puffy paint. I'm going to trace over on top of the pen with the puffy paint to give it the idea of it's a 3D textured, like you can feel it, like how lace you can feel. That's going to be this idea. It's not just going to be flat painted on me, it's going to have some kind of dimension. So when I move to the side, you can still kind of see dimension of the flowers and stuff. Like there's a rose and everything and leaves and stuff in here. So trace, just keep doing it, and take your time to I think when I traced mine the proper size, I was down here for about 45 minutes, just because think of it like getting a tattoo. Going back for touch-ups is a pain in the butt. Going back for touch-ups like this, you have to reposition everything and you have to rescale, and if you close your laptop or if you have to pinch zoom back in, it's very hard to get it exact. Especially once you take this down, getting it back up and then blah, blah, blah. It's a pain. So you're pretty much going to sketch as much as you possibly can all through here. When you do that, you are going to get something that looks. This is the one I messed up on, so I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to hit the lights actually so that you can have some idea of what I'm going to hit the wrong lights. Yeah, actually I think that's as bright as it gets in here. Here, follow me into my craft room, and I'm actually going to show you guys what I'm working on to give you the idea of what we do next. So, I know a lot of you do other art projects and stuff. Light boxes can be a little expensive at the craft store, right? Not if you're gonna build your own. Come on in, let me show you. This right here is a made-at-home light table. Okay, so all it is literally planks of wood nailed together, a pane of glass, and then if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they have that like privacy glass coating you can get for your windows. Get just this foggy glass, that's it, lay it here, fixture it on there, and stick a light underneath. Come a little bit closer and I'll show you what it does. So, if I want to trace just this piece, right? I'll show you. If you want to move a little bit closer, come to me. Alright, so right now, if I want to trace this without a light table, I can't see anything. It's a pain in the butt, but if I want to trace it with a light table, just press nice and hard on there, blam. It's so easy, and you just go on tracing. So you're pretty much going to trace everything twice. Why this is better than tracing that screenshot up, like if you can get a better screenshot for your character, do it. But with Lulu, you know, the game's PS2, they didn't have a ton really available, so it wasn't that easy. But the other half of hers was kind of like bent and missing, and it was in the background, and I needed more foreground, so it really wasn't going to help me. But yeah, so if you keep doing this again and again and again, so earlier I did it like this, you can see it's got a crease in it. I originally did the dark side on this side, and then I put it on here, and I traced, and you can see all the lines match up, and then when I unfold it, it looks something like this. See? Symmetrical. And then what you're going to do is you're going to want to look at your pattern and then just cut. Let me show you. See how this is way big? The big mess up I did? Yeah, it's not going to stay, but I messed up, right? It's actually supposed to be this size. So you can tell my frustration and everything, but see how it has that nice downward slope? I don't have to worry about adjusting that. And it's measured to the size that I need it to be for my thighs and to go down the skirt a little bit. If anything, I may edit out like a teeny little piece here and kind of pinch it in a little bit, but you don't want to lose any of your beautiful designs. So that is a really simple way to get really complicated patterns if you suck at freehand drawing, like I do. I suck at freehand drawing, but this big table is not necessary. If you go to Hobby Lobby, you can get little panes of glass, you can get little pieces of hobby wood, you can get, or just go, Lowe's has the, we call it the freebie bin, where people miscut their pieces of wood, and it's in like a trash container. Just pick out some of those free pieces, cut them all to be the right size, make a little square. Actually, the square will be little, but you want your pieces to be tall so you can fit a light under it. And then just get a little bit of, a whole roll of this foggy stuff. There was more than this in there, but a whole roll of this was like 15 bucks. And then the wood would be free. And then whatever lamp you have at home, and a $5 piece, 20 bucks for a light box. Or, a lot of you are in college, use the light boxes that are in your school. Even if you're not in the art program, a lot of times they'll still let you use the equipment if you go through the proper channels. Or, if you're in a tech school, you can build your own light box with what they already have at the school.